Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Roses and Thorns. Today, I have on the show a very, very good friend of mine, Olaribigbe Folao Moyosola. I like to call his full name because why not? Hi, Moyo.
Hi. So I think I'll just correct you there. My name is Moyosola, no Moyosore.
Whatever.
It's not whatever. That's my name, Moyosola. Say
Oh,
Moyosola.
Moyosola.
Yes, love.
Thank you for the correction. Just ask you this question. Would you rather you find love this year or you win lottery, money, pounds, cool cash? What would you rather?
That question is not even difficult because me, I don't find things. Things find me. So things find me. So love will find me,
And then
and
money will find you as
I
well.
may decide to give love a chance.
Mm.
Maybe love have found me already, Seth.
Who
We don't even
knows?
know. But lottery, I don't believe in luck. I don't like luck.
Uh,
I like to work hard for the things
you
I get,
have.
yes.
Oh,
So
wow.
I get to appreciate those
You are
things
a
more.
honorable man, yeah?
Yeah, yeah,
A
yeah, I think
honorable man, a
whichever one.
honorable man.
As far as honorable is in the
Is
word.
there?
Hmm.
For me, I think I would like love because not because this is the season of love, but
So as love found you.
um,
You know his name
I'll
is
leave that
listening. No
question
way.
for
there
another time.
there is no way.
Let's move on.
There is no
Let's
way. We
move
can't
on.
move on. You asked me the question and I answered.
Well,
Don't sweat, don't sweat.
no,
Behold.
please don't disturb me today.
We didn't hear that part. You said love has found. Like say it out.
Anyways, since we are talking about love, I just wanted to find out about what was your childhood like? Do you think you were raised with love, or you think, yeah, were you raised with love?
Hmm.
Did you enjoy your childhood?
I think if at the fear of sounding at the fear of sounding like I'm exaggerating things,
Okay.
I think I would still say that my childhood was colorful. It was the
Mm.
exact definition of love.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because you see, while I was growing up,
Yeah.
I almost never knew what it felt to be unloved or
Hmm.
to experience hatred from people whatsoever.
Wow.
Hatred has so many aspects, say like jealousy, greed, selfishness, what have you. But while I was growing up, I never got to experience those things for myself. I was not able to relate to people talking about it. Even my parents were victims of different forms of hatred in one form or the other.
While they were
And
growing up, yeah.
maybe while I was growing up,
Oh.
they were victims of hatred, and when they tried to explain it,
Mm-hmm.
there was no way I could grasp it because I just could not relate. Do you
Hmm.
understand? So my childhood was a proper childhood. It was I was a child in my childhood.
So you didn't have any worst childhood memories that you can think of?
Okay.
Did you have
So
any?
yeah, I had bad childhood memories,
Mm.
but again, I would not attribute it to lack of love.
Okay.
I mean, maybe looking back, I may be tempted to see it that way, but while I was growing up, I never saw it that way. Yeah, and we were not super rich when we were growing up. There were
Mm-hmm.
things I
But you were
wanted.
comfortable.
I felt comfortable. Looking back,
Mm.
I know we weren't.
But looking
Looking
back
back,
now, you think you weren't
yeah,
comfortable.
I know my family weren't financially comfortable when we were
But
growing up,
as at the time,
but
you.
I never felt it really that we weren't
Hmm.
comfortable.
I
But
do.
true, there were things that I needed that
You didn't have.
I did not have,
Mm-hmm.
but I did not see them as things that we could not afford.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw them as maybe some form of discipline, or like you can't always get what you want, something like that.
Yeah, I think sometimes parents do that thing where I remember my mom then. You see this excursion thing?
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact that my mom can afford it. In fact, I know my parents can afford it. I don't know if it's some form of punishment
They'll tell you
or
no.
I mean they'll literally I remember then would have students that on excursion days, if you've paid, come this way. If you've not paid, I'm always among those people that
Those
have
that have
not
not
paid. I'm
paid.
telling you. I don't get it because I mean I would have paid my school fees. I have all the textbooks. I was comfortable. But somehow I just didn't I don't know if is it like a an African parent thing? Do you think it's like
I think it's an African thing. I think back in those days
mm-hmm.
it was well looking at the new parents we're having these days, now they don't exercise that form of discipline. But
Mm.
while we were growing up, our parents were like that. I mean most parents were like that. I know of many of
Your friends?
my not really, but I would say my relatives, say my
Okay.
aunts, my uncles, that
Mm-hmm.
are parents to my cousins,
Mm-hmm.
that would also exercise that form of discipline. It's not that they could not afford it. They always want it was more like they always wanted to give you reasons why
It
it
was
was
bad.
bad
Or
to go. Exactly. I mean, why are you thinking of the worst?
but those friends that their parents give them this money,
Ah,
are they
maybe
different from my
maybe
parents?
those ones have two heads.
Maybe
Oh.
I think I have to call my mother to ask her
Those
this.
ones have two
Because
heads.
I mean, there were not always many. If we were like 50 in a class, we'd have like 10 people whose parents have paid. Then we have like the whole 40 of us that
In
would
my own
rather.
while I was growing up, it was quite different. I mean, it was almost like I was the only one that did not pay.
No, that has to be a joke.
No, I'm serious. Like, yes, we knew that there were some parts of the class that they could not afford it.
At all, yes.
Yeah, those ones won't show up, and we were not going to question the reason why they didn't
Mm-hmm.
show up.
Because I
We could all
mean,
understand, like,
yes.
it was an unspoken
Mm-hmm.
explanation that
Yeah.
we all could
Yeah.
understand. But I mean, I did not appear to people as someone whose parents could
We're
know. So,
poor.
to be honest, it's possible that my parents could not even afford it at the time. I would not know. Like I said earlier, I never felt like we were uncomfortable. Looking
Yeah.
back, I know we were not.
Mm-hmm.
But while I was growing up, I felt we were comfortable. So again, I did not feel that we were not comfortable, and that was how that was how I was projected,
Okay.
to people who were out there who were looking at me.
Mm.
So if Moyo did not show up,
Something is wrong.
something is wrong.
Definitely.
And there was no way I could explain to them that they would
That they did not pay
understand.
my.
Yeah, they didn't pay. My mom said I did not pay that. What if I go and kidnap her country? Why? No, I want to ask this question. Why
Okay.
are they always thinking of the worst?
I don't
Why is it not?
know.
What if you go and you meet, say, the president of Nigeria there with? I
They
mean,
never have that thought. They always think, oh, what if you go and you see at the time, Facebook was like a thing where people would just pop up random stories
mm-hmm.
that something these people are going to school and then something happened and then the next day will be my mother will say you're not going.
No, somebody
In
has
fact, you're
posted
not
it on
even going to
Facebook.
school. You're sitting at home. I don't know if it's like a parent thing. And sometimes I'll just go on Instagram and then I would see people saying similar stories about their childhood. And then it got me thinking, does it mean that all our parents are cut from the same cloth or something? Because these stories are always similar.
Similar, yeah.
Yes. Have you had that experience?
I think it's an era thing.
Mm.
So a time period,
I used to
that
think it's like
time
an
period.
African thing. Do you think?
Well, I would have agreed with that if not for the fact that we have Africans right now who are
Mm.
not like that. So I
Mm.
want to see it as more of an era thing.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
it's like that
Like
age,
it
like
was their
about
age. So our parents were parents to us as at the same time and probably grew up around the same time,
okay. No, that
maybe in
makes
the
sense now.
60s, 70s, thereabout. So their thoughts were shaped by the things they experienced while they were growing up and probably how quickly life, turned around to be really, really bad, and they were just trying to protect us from it. I think back then,
Mhm.
I don't know why, I
Okay.
kind of understood, but I think it's weird that I was able to
I never
understand.
understood.
But
I legit thought my parents hated me
no, I think back then I
because
understood.
I know that my father has this money. I know my father can do this
Can do
thing.
it.
If you're
Then why are
listening
you
to me
not doing
right
it?
now, father, I knew you could afford these things. But
She knew you could afford it.
I mean, my father would
Genuinely could
just,
afford it, but you didn't.
he
You
would just
just
not
didn't.
do it. Now
Have you
this,
ever heard of, sorry, I have to cut you in. What
yeah,
about the part that they will tell you, go and tell your dad? And your dad will say, go and tell your mom.
no, that kills me. My
What did
and
your
I
mom say? She said, I cannot go. If she has said you cannot go, then you cannot go.
But do you know, I used to think that they used to have like one bedroom convo. They already know what they'll say,
The
but they
truth,
just want
they
to
don't
be,
need to have that conversation.
they
They've
just
already pre-planned
know.
it. Like it is default. It's their default setting. While they were getting married and saying their vows to each
They
other, there were some
already,
unspoken vows underneath that whenever the children say they want to go on excursions or they want to go out with their friends,
let's
you are going to
just
say
say they're
no.
not going.
So, but this I will first say they should come and tell you. Then you say go and tell your father. I will say what did your mom say? You say no.
No, no,
So
no,
I think
no,
they
no.
already planned it. All the times they were
No.
dating, taking themselves under the tree, and
Did they
they
even date? I mean, question for another day.
another day.
But I mean, I do think that it's very important for people to talk about their childhood because I was scrolling through IG this week or some days back, and then I saw where somebody said she had strict parents while she was growing up, and then it dampened on her esteem. It made her have low self-esteem, and then I could relate to it because at some point in my life I did have low self-esteem, and I do think it's because of the way I was raised. I mean, no shade to my parents. My parents were, if I could say, the most loving. I had
Everybody says that about their
I
parents.
know. I know how people say, "Oh, on Mother's Day, I have the best mother," and then people
Everybody
begin to
has the
wonder.
best
So who
mother.
has the witch? Whose mother is the witch then? But I do actually think I not. I don't think I know that I had. I still have them. They're still alive. Thanks be to God. They are loving parents. But I don't know. I just feel like some there was there were some things that my dad would do that would hurts me or hits me in a bad place, and then growing up it affected me. So I want to know if you have any do you have like any,
Experience like that.
yes, any childhood memory or any childhood trauma that sort of shaped you, that I mean, while you want to make certain decisions, you look back and you could tell that, oh, it's because I was raised a certain way. Do you think
Hmm.
you have that experience?
Before I answer that question, let me
Mm-hmm.
ask you this.
Mm.
We've been friends for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Um, do you think I'm very sociable?
Mm. So not exactly. I know that sometimes I think you're social with your friends, but I've never seen you. No, looking at it now, I think you're sociable actually.
You think I'm sociable?
Yeah, you are.
Let me tell you why it was difficult for you to answer that question.
Mm.
That is because I think originally there's this spectrum between being an introvert and being
Okay.
an extrovert.
Mm-hmm.
I am neither of those.
You're like in the middle.
I'm like in the middle. I'm
Yeah.
ambiverted. So I'm like naturally I'm inclined to be introverted,
Mm-hmm.
but whenever I decide to be sociable, I
Mm.
can socialize
Yeah,
well.
that's why I said you're like more social with your
Yeah.
friends.
So it is really quite difficult for you to please me between being an introvert and being an extrovert.
Extrovert.
And I want to relate that to the question that you asked.
Mm-hmm.
So while I was growing up,
Mm-hmm.
I my parents were never really the ones that were comfortable with us making
Friends.
friends with
Sorry to cut you short.
yeah.
Do you remember how have you ever wanted to go visit your friends and then your mom would say or your dad would say, "Can't those your friends
Come
come
and
to your
visit you.
house?"
Now the thing is, I never even Yoruba will say me o dabaye. I have never even attempted to tell
To
my
tell your friends
parents
that you're
I want to
going.
go and visit my friends.
Wow.
If I go and visit my friends, I lied. I told a lie.
You told them
So
you're going somewhere else.
I told them I was going somewhere else, or maybe they sent me on an errand. I'm
And
like,
then you just
oh
quickly go,
man. So instead of me walking majestically to run the errand,
hmm.
I'll run so I can branch at my friend's place. I please don't even remind me of those times because I knew at some point I was flogged severely. A lot
Because I'm
of
sure you got
strokes of
home late.
canes. Yeah, because when you're with your friends, you get to spend so much time. You get to
Mm-hmm.
spend so much time, and maybe you lose track of time. So while I was growing up, my parents were the kinds that They did not want us to socialize with friends.
Mm.
The neighborhood where we grew up, it was not
It's not safe.
and it was safe,
Okay.
but the children around were not exactly model children to follow. Yeah.
Oh.
So then we stayed in a rented apartment that was I would like to say caged, but we're not caged. It was burglary proof, and
Okay.
so Yoruba used to call us "awomonu gates." Do you understand?
Ah.
So we were like the Baptist children
Mm.
in the neighborhood.
The
So
ajabos.
they are Jebos in the
Ah.
neighborhood. So they did not want us to, interact with people in the neighborhood.
With the
So the only times I
ajapakos.
get to, please, I'm not using that term for them. So the only time I get to, actually talk to people when I get to school, and those
Wow.
ones are hardly my friends. They are just my
Yeah.
classmates because I am only
Hmm.
limited to exchanging words, pleasantries with them during break and maybe on my way home after school.
So you didn't have
So
any
after that,
friends, any classmate that was your actual friend?
that was my friend.
You didn't have.
Not really.
So did you then have friends as a child? Did you?
So I mean, as adults now, we
Mm.
have a totally different definition of friends.
Okay.
So with the kind of definition of friends that I know right now, I do not
Okay.
have friends back then. I had people that
You just related with
I
that's it.
related with. Yeah, we would play,
Wow.
we would joke, but nothing really too deep.
I think my child is
Do you
just special.
understand? Yeah.
Mm.
So
I had friends.
that way, it was really hard. I found it really hard to socialize.
Mm.
I found it really, really hard to socialize. And while I was growing older,
Mhm.
I got to find out that for one to be successful in this life, you need to understand the quality of networking. So
True.
networking is an Herculean task for me. It is very, very difficult for me to network.
Now.
Now, yes, so I can,
Ah.
so, I'm trying to draw, a parallelism between, what happened in my childhood and how it is difficult for me to
Affecting you
network now.
now.
So it takes me extra effort. I go the extra mile. I am
Wow.
actively I don't network passively. There are people
Mm.
who they do it by default. They network
Like
passively. They
me.
don't have to. Yeah, I can give you that. They don't have to try, but I have to try. I have to put in that extra effort
Extra.
to network. And one of the things I've learned by being, I would say to an extent, I am a little bit socially intelligent.
Okay.
So when I
Yeah,
get to
I agree.
notice that I'm in a gathering and I'm actually supposed to be networking, interacting,
So
and
you
because
just.
naturally I am introverted, I'm inclined to be introverted. I take the initiative to, start to socialize, start to
Mm.
network. I have to think about it, prompt myself to act. Yeah, so
Wow.
it's difficult,
You know
and
when
my
people
childhood
say
shaped me
it's
to be that.
difficult for them to network, I totally cannot relate. Well, I did say that I mean, some part of my childhood affected me now. It affected me as an adult. But you see that social part? Mm-mm. My dad is like, I don't know what I can use to qualify him. I don't know the adjectives to use. He's literally everywhere. Like my dad cannot be somewhere and then you will not know that there's somebody there. So I think it rubbed off
Oh,
on
on you.
me. Yes. How I don't think I can be somewhere and just be quiet. No.
You don't know how to
In
do
fact, when I'm
that.
quiet, there's an issue. It means there's something wrong. I'm like a social butterfly. I'm everywhere. There's nobody I
You
cannot
can't
talk
talk
to.
to.
But while that is a thing with me, I do also have low self-esteem, or I had low self-esteem.
Why?
And I think that's because growing up, my dad is this it takes a lot to impress my dad. It literally
Okay.
takes a lot to impress my dad. You see, when you could get first, you could come
So like
first.
if I go and see your dad now,
Mm.
I won't impress you.
Ah, no, you wouldn't.
Like if I carry like 50 tubers of yam
No,
with
start from
helicopter,
maybe bring
petrol,
Range Rover.
I
No,
bring petrol and new notes
nah.
for your dad in Nigeria.
Okay, maybe, but I mean, bring like Range Rover or like
Range Rover,
yeah, I mean the latest
Evoque,
one,
or okay,
or
Vela.
bring Tesla. Vela,
I
that's
didn't
it.
bring over
That's
Vela for
it.
your dad.
That's it.
I'm taking notes.
I mean,
I'm taking notes.
he can consider then. But it's not like my dad is materialistic or
No, no,
anything.
no, no, no. I
No,
didn't say
he's
that. Oh,
not.
if you are,
But it
if you
just
are,
seems a lot impressive.
I didn't say
So I
that.
remember how I would come first in class.
Mm-hmm.
While I was in primary school, I remember vividly how on the day we go to collect our report card, people in my neighborhood where I lived then at Ikeja, Ogba, they'll come out of their house and they would expect me because they know I'll take first.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember vividly how these people, I mean, I think they usually sell provisions. They have like several provision stores. So they'll come out of that and say, ah, you took first again, Abby, take this. You took first again, Abby, take this. And these people will celebrate me outside. And then I'll get home. And then I would have like maybe 80. And then my dad would like, I'll try sharp, but àwọn tó gba 90 or tó bá gba 90 or tó bá gba 100 kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀? I mean, I don't think it was like it's not like he meant it as a bad thing because he would tell me, oh, 80 ló gbà, try, but I mean, you tried, but you could have done better. You said that you could have done better. Just somehow always, I don't know, it just affected me in some.
It like reduces the way you have seen your achievements. Yes, it like diminishes it in front of your eyes. Yes,
because coming from outside, people would, you see, when I take my fifth, trust me, that's about no, it's about because if you take it first, we are saying you've not even really passed. You're not coming and get
the fifth. So you can't get fifth with 90%. Your dad won't take it still.
Then I'll have to do a lot of extra. Do you know that when I remember then, if I'm coming back home with my reports, I would have to. I already used to prepare explanations in my head. But do you know when my dad would usually do that? Thinking back now, I remember how there's no textbook I don't have. If you see my school bag, right now I have a small stature. So imagine while I was like 13 or
smaller.
I was, and then my bag. Do you know? I don't know if you used to see all these students that when they carry their bag, they used to have a hunchback because the bag is full to the brim.
So you were one of them.
I'm telling you, I had all the textbooks.
And you say you will not collect first.
I had every single textbook.
You should have been getting 100%.
Maybe that's what my
dad meant. That's why.
You say I bought you all the textbooks. So you can't say the teacher failed me or I failed because I didn't have the textbook. There was no excuse.
You had everything you needed.
I had everything. So, but then do you think that that's not like a? I think it still affects me now because I would do something really big and then I'm like, I mean, some people have done it better, or some people have done it before and they've done it better, or some people have bigger achievements and all that. So when you have achievement, first of all, did you ever have that? Were you like a scholar? Did you always like take first? How did your parents
You were not supposed to ask me this question.
Because I know. I just wanted to embarrass you. So please take the floor.
Sorry to disappoint you. I was a scholar.
Let's take first.
Sorry to disappoint you. I was a scholar. What is your problem?
Let's take first.
Yes, now.
First position.
I'm serious. I can't even lie to you.
Really?
Yes. I'm serious. I can't even lie.
I'll call
well. To be honest, when I was in school, I've never really been serious. I just did not like to fail. Did you understand? I did not like to fail.
Because I mean, knowing you now, I know that.
No. Please, don't bring that into this discussion.
Let's embarrass you. Okay.
Don't embarrass me. Okay. So I've never really been a serious student, but I have always hated to fail. I have also hated. I've also always hated to be at the mercy of anybody else in the exam hall. So while I was in school,
I beg, let me copy you.
No, I don't do that. It's more of come and copy me. Do you understand? So even while I was on serious,
people were rushing to sit with you.
Yes, now
you were like
So even while I was on serious, I made sure that for every exams I prepared very well. So while I was in primary school, yes, I was getting first. But when I got into secondary school, it was a totally different place.
Adulthood.
And so because I was unserious, it was quite different in secondary school. I know you would agree with me that
Yeah.
in secondary school, you were not just judged based on your exams.
Mm-hmm.
You were also judged based on things that they called continuous assessment.
Definitely.
Yeah, so with the continuous assessment, because I was unserious, I would not do assignments. I would submit assignments late. I do not have
So you had
incomplete
only
notes.
exams.
So my continuous assessment were usually very low, and my exams very very high. So
Mm,
while I would still pass very very well, there
mm,
was no way I was coming first because there were
definitely.
people who were serious in class.
They had continuous
Yeah,
assessment and had
and
exams.
had exams. So yeah, I was scoring really really high,
Mm-hmm.
and I think my parents just knew that this guy is a goat. We think he knows what he is doing.
So they never really like they were not hard
So
on
they were
you.
not really hard on me. Now let me tell you something happened when I was in maybe SS2.
Okay.
You know, we used to do this midterm
Mm.
midterm test.
Yes, yes.
So we did this midterm test, and me that I would either come first, second, or third in class. I came 13th
Out of
out of maybe we were 40 or thereabouts or
I mean
38.
you still tried, but
So I came 13th, but I came 13 with maybe like a 79%.
wow.
Do you
That means you
understand?
had like gurus in your class. Awesome.
Maybe the midterm test was just, maybe people just really prepared for the
Prepared for
midterm
that
test. Yeah,
one.
but yeah, but I came 13th,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody was like, Moyo, what did you? I came 13th. I came 13th. Like, Moyo does not know book again. But by the time they see what I had scored, like, oh, 79 point something. Oh, okay, okay, maybe he's just an idiot.
I mean,
Do
if
you
you even go
understand?
home, you can't. If you tell your father that you had 79, they
I
will not even
cannot
think
tell
that
him
you
I
even
came
had 13.
13th.
Of course, just say you had
I'll just say I
79.
had 79, and he's okay with I had
Of course.
79. So the only issue I had back then was that the teachers in school were like, Moyo, what's going on? Look at all these people that you used to teach. Yeah. I said, I'm not competing with anybody. Did I pass? Yes, I passed. If I
Wow.
pass, then that's fine.
That was like
Do you
your.
understand?
So that means
So
you can definitely not relate to that side of my story where
in,
achievements were like
so
a.
the part
I
of
mean,
your
it has to be like
story,
100 over 100 for me to even feel that, oh, I did something great.
yeah.
You know?
The part of your story that that I can kind of relate to
Mm-hmm.
would not be people diminishing my achievements.
Okay.
It would be like I grew up where I was taught to be modest with my achievements. And
Hmm.
it was, I saw it as I now became overly modest with my achievements. So
Like you
that
when
even
you
when
pass,
I
they
had
say,
achieved something, I don't get to celebrate my successes. I
wow.
don't get to, I'm like, oh, I
But
don't
that's
do.
bad.
Yeah, it's bad. Do you understand? So, um, I get the point you are trying to raise, and I think it really, really applies to everybody at one point or the other. The way we were brought up, our childhood experiences can, shaping the kind of persons we become. There are some things here that we can try to unlearn, learn. There are some things that are very, very difficult to unlearn as well because they are, deeply ingrained, embedded in our person.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you this. Don't get me. Um, I think I don't know, but I do think that every African. Did your parents ever offend you and then tell you sorry? Has it ever happened? Have you ever heard your mother tell you sorry for doing something to you? Has it ever happened?
Only when I grew older.
When you are so
Only when I
lucky, my
only when I
guy.
grew older. Only when I grew older.
Your mom or your
So
dad,
both of them.
you've told you
So let me
sorry.
tell you. Let me tell you something. See, when I was
That's
growing up,
very strange. Believe
chill
me.
now. When I was growing up,
Mm-hmm.
I told you that I did not really have friends.
Mm.
My parents were my
And your
friends.
siblings.
Yeah,
You
my
had siblings.
siblings were friends.
Mm.
So my dad was really, really strict. He was a disciplinarian.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the way he was brought up.
Okay.
And my mom was the total opposite.
Mm.
She she would not pamper you and spoil you, but she was rich. You could appeal to her reason. But with my
Mm.
dad, you could not appeal to his reason. Not because he was not reasonable, but because you did not just think you had it in you to appeal to his reason. So you would not even try. Do you understand?
I can
Yeah.
relate.
So whenever he feels I have offended him,
Mm-hmm.
I agree I've offended him.
You don't even
I
bother.
don't try. I don't try to. But daddy, I did not offend you. Really, I just want. I just feel if you think I've offended you,
Yeah,
Omo, you are
sorry.
right. You are right. So flog me
Or
or
talk
I'm
to me,
sorry or talk
or
to me. I don't even say daddy. No, this is not how it is. So while we were growing up, we got to a point where my dad was doing that severally.
Mm-hmm.
My sister is 2 years older than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So that day, my sister just, I think he flogged my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she was very well in her teens, you know. He flogged her and she was like, "No, why are you flogging me?"
Oh,
Yeah, she told him that, "No, why are you flogging me? The thing you said I didn't do it. Why did you not just allow me explain to you, appeal to your reason?"
what did he
So
do?
I can't remember really. I can't remember.
He did not flog
So
her some more.
no, 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 no,
I
no, no,
really
no,
admire her courage.
no, no, no. He did not flog her some more. So he stopped and she was pissed and she expressed herself. My sister
Ooh,
was pissed and she expressed herself. And he didn't say anything. He left. That was the last time
he
he
have.
flogged my sister or flogged me as a person.
Whoa. So she
Do
like
you understand? So whenever I was talking, whenever we do something that offends him, he
she
will
would just
say,
prefer to talk.
yeah, he will say, you people will say, you people will say, I don't used to listen to people. Look at this one now. I'll say, this one was a mistake. We are sorry, we are sorry, we are sorry. Do you understand? And so also if we felt he has done something unbecoming,
Mm,
maybe to us,
mhm,
to his wife, our mom,
mm,
and we call him to her that no, we don't think you should do this. Oh, okay. I didn't say it that way. I'm sorry. This is the way,
mm.
me and my dad and my parents now relate more on a guy basis.
Wow. I
If I
mean,
call my mom today and I
yeah,
say, Mom, how
now.
far? I call my dad, how
But
far?
that's now, not when I was
Now, yeah.
younger.
But
But
when I was younger, no way. There was no way we were appealing. If you have been judged, you have been judged. No court of appeal, no tribunal.
yes, I. So when I was younger, you know, thinking about it now, I think my mom is not a disciplinarian, but she's the, all those mothers that when you do something and then she wants to beat you and you run. You know how you run, then you think that
She has forgotten in
nah,
the night.
in the night when you sleep, something
I,
will wake you.
I hear these stories, but I never experienced it. Thankfully,
I experienced it.
I never
My mother
experienced
will
it.
never. All those you'll be running. They'll not be begging you. If you live in like a face out or like a street where everybody knows everybody, and then
Mm-hmm.
no, nobody will even know that. Oh, she's still angry at you, and then she will flog you. But my dad is more of the can't even run. I mean, I think thinking about it, now, I'm so sorry, dad, but thinking about it now, I think my dad just thinks all his children are guys. Like my father literally beats you like
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 a
you're a
guy.
guy. I mean, he beats you like you're a guy and all. So I don't think that most of the time, the things we experience growing up,
Forget I chop king. Oh.
they've but then they're really shaping. They're either
I chop
shaping
king.
us right now to make good decisions or
I say my parents
bad
are sweet. Oh, my parents
decisions.
are sweet. Oh, but I don't think anybody in this room can compete with me with the amount of king I've collected.
I
Because
mean,
I
you're a
was
guy
stubborn.
and you're a guy. I
I
think
was
guy children are
stubborn.
always like very hard to raise, or so I've heard.
Come on. I mean, I'm here.
Is that
Was
cane that's shaping
no,
you
no, no, no,
now
no, no, no.
and
It
made
got
you
to a point where
better?
I can remember this particular scenario very, very vividly. It got to a point where I was being flogged for the same thing
Over
every
and
single day, and I did not understand why I was being flogged.
how
I'll
old
tell
were
you.
you?
I think I was in secondary school then.
So you
Was
were like
I?
a bit mature then.
Maybe about JSS2. So in the compound where I lived,
Mm,
we were just, two families,
mm-hmm.
the landlord's
And then you.
family and our family.
Okay.
So we were really close. So me and the landlord's son,
Mm.
Uncle Yomi, is like
It's
way, way
older
older than
than
me. He's
you.
about like 10, 15 years older than I am.
Yeah, wow.
So I used to play PS2 in
Okay.
his house or football manager where I act as a coach on his computer and
Even
stuff.
while you were in just two.
Yes, while I was in JS2. So it
Okay.
was one that introduced me to all of those video games.
Okay.
I didn't have friends, remember? Yeah. So there was this particular so there was this particular time now. So I went there. My mom got back from work. She saw that the house was open and Moyo. I came, mommy, welcome. Why did you leave the house open? Why did you not do the dishes? Why did you not fetch the water? See, there's this. She flogged the hell out of me. You know what you're supposed to do? You didn't do it. Okay. So the following day,
You still did the same thing.
I did the dishes. I
Then you
fetched
went
water.
to play.
I left the door open. Moyo, where did you go to? She will say it in Yoruba. Moyo, Ibolowa. Moyo. You want to tell you, your mommy has come, she has come. I'll be gallivanting. Oh, mommy has come. Oh,
And then
mommy,
she will
welcome.
flog you again.
No. This is it. Great official kunle. Why did you open the
Mm-hmm.
door? That's translation in Yoruba. Why
Mm-hmm.
did you open the door down? Why did you unlock the door? I was
You
flogged
flog
again.
it. And then
So
the
I
next
felt the
day,
reason why she was flogging was because
because she
I did
doesn't
not close
the
the
door.
door.
So you
The
close the door.
following day, I closed the door. I did not do the dishes. I did not. Do you hate me, woman? So you get. So it was after she was like, why don't you used to listen?
Oh,
But I
King
closed
Boron.
the
That's what they
door.
would usually
But why
say.
did you not do the dishes? Before you go out and play, finish everything you have
Everything
to
you have
do
to
in the house.
do.
In fact, from now, as
Don't
in
even go again.
henceforth, don't go again.
Don't even
Oh
go
my, but I
again.
can correct it tomorrow. I can close the door. I can wash the dishes and everything. Don't even go again. Just sit down in your house. Do you
Wow.
understand? So
Wow.
and those times my parents were nice when they were flogging us because they do not flog us out of anger.
So you didn't
So
have
if
bruises or anything.
no, I did. What I
Okay.
meant was if I've offended my dad
Mm-hmm.
and he wants yeah and he has gone to bring the cane, I know
Mm.
he's giving me only 2 strokes of cane.
Only two.
Do you understand?
Ah.
With my mom, I know it is 6 strokes. So if I have offended you, I know
Wow.
that I am taking 2 strokes from daddy or
I'm
six
six.
strokes from mommy. So even if they are angry, they moderated how much they flog. But you see, this particular day I told you of,
She flogged
this
you more than
particular
six. Was it your
days,
mom or your dad?
my
So I
mom,
can double it.
my mom, this
She's
particular
like
day,
12 or 24. Oh.
I could not count. She was flogging me all over my body. Before it was bring your hand. This one was all
All
over my body.
over. That's how I was
When I
flogged when I was young.
finished, she sent me to the bus stop to get maybe something from her shop. She owned a baby wear shop at the bus stop. So when I was going, I met my cousin. And my cousin was like, as soon as I went my mind to talk to my cousin, I started crying.
Because you were.
I was crying not because of the pain I felt from being flogged,
But
but from pitying myself to have gone through all of that. Like,
they
was it
must
me that they
hate
flogged me?
me.
Was it me that they flogged like this? On
Wow.
another occasion, I think that morning, maybe I had done something wrong. It
Mm.
was a Saturday morning. We were trying to wash clothes
Mm.
outside. I was trying to wash clothes outside. So I had done something wrong. Maybe she had corrected me. I can't remember what it was, but she came. It was in the compound. She had taken her wrapper. She had tied
Okay.
it around her chest.
Uh-huh.
She had come outside. Now she
She
dressed that
means
way
business.
because she had taken the cane and had hidden it, behind her
Ah,
back.
so she
So she was walking. Muyo, what are you
so that you
doing?
will not run.
So that I would not
Because the
run
compound.
because I was outside. If
You
I were
put
inside, I knew I would not run. But if we were to be in the compound, I'll be moving back. So she just brought it out. And I started wiping me all over my body. She started whipping me all over my body. No. I can compete with anybody as to the amount of times I've been flogged.
Wow.
No.
I, when it comes to flogging, I think the only time I can compete is punishment. Do you ever carry stabilizer? Do you carry stabilizer and your hands will be up and you'll be whipping
That's
profusely?
and you do not
That's
have
me.
muscle like
I
this.
don't know why I don't have muscles. I really don't know.
Ah,
I don't know why I don't have muscles. But
you should thank your parents too that they allow you to do some
when I carry
some
it, and I'll be
yeah.
crying, mommy, please,
She was
daddy,
training you. She was
please.
giving you
My
muscles.
dad would because he knew that if he flogs you, he will kill you.
So you will not just
Yeah, he will not
attempt
flog you.
it.
He'll just say, "One carry stabilizer," or like you're. In fact, we have a stabilizer in the house where you can, and it's not like all those. Is I don't know if you know brands of stabilizers, but I can't.
Binaton.
It's heavy. This stabilizer is heavy. I'm
Does
not even
Binaton still
tapping.
exist?
I don't know, but I will carry this thing, and my hands will be paining me. Well, I think if we keep going on and on about
We
childhood
won't
memories,
we won't
we
stop.
would not stop
What's the name of
because
this your teddy bear?
I don't know. I don't know what, but this one is called Benny.
Benny.
Yeah, what name do you think I should give this one?
We'll give this one um Ben.
Ben. Hi guys.
I'm sure this
My
Ben.
guest today has called this is Benny, and he has decided to name this one Ben.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't think
This yogurt
I
is
like
nice,
this name,
oh.
but I mean,
This yogurt is nice.
it is, yeah. You didn't
So
taste
you
it
didn't tell
since.
me that I should take my yogurt
I'm so
since.
sorry. I was really enjoying your story, and I think I will still invite you back so you could tell us more of the stories.
This time around, you pay. Oh.
Well, we'll talk about that. But
Look at this Ben now. This is going to be having childhood trauma when he grows up.
I think that you have a death wish. But
Ah,
guys, I'm so glad that I got to speak with Moyo today. It was a very loving conversation, and
I'm glad I got to speak with you too
thank you
as
so
well.
much, Moyo, for coming. Thank you
Yeah,
for telling us your stories.
you're
I mean, I
always
think
welcome.
behind camera, I'll still get to listen to more of the stories, or even invite you to tell us more of them.
In camera or behind camera.
Any of them is
We'll
fine.
do it in camera.
Any of them is fine,
No
as long as
worries.
I get to hear the stories.
Is that it?
Thank you guys for
For
watching this episode, and I'll see you at the next episode. Bye now.